Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing really well and welcome back to my podcast, Life of an Artrepreneur. So as you can see from the title of this podcast episode, I've got quite a few things to update you on that are very, very exciting. But I feel like recently I've just been having a bit of a reflection on everything that I've been doing and just really thinking about what it is that I enjoy, what I want to kind of do less of, what I want to do more of. The teaching and Patreon I love, and the workshop side of things I want to push that more. I will always love doing commissions, and I really love creating content, and I love my YouTube channel, and I wish that I could have more time to spend doing the vlogs and doing more videos, like arty kind of videos, tutorials, top tips videos, because I feel like at the minute my YouTube channel is just podcast episode after podcast episode, and it looks like a YouTube channel specifically for my podcast, which I don't mind kind of having a mixture of them both, but I feel like there's definitely a lot more podcast episodes than there is with art content, and it's more of the art content that I want to kind of focus on for my YouTube channel. I also love this podcast and I'm so glad that I started it. I feel like a lot of people think a 15-minute episode takes me like 15 minutes to do. I'll just quickly record that and then it's up on a Wednesday morning. But it honestly takes up such a big chunk of my day or the week. Even if I'm, scheduling quite a few episodes and recording a few episodes at once, I still have to do all of like the research and the notes and maybe sometimes a script for that episode. I then have to record it, but also it's like getting all the tripods and the lighting and everything the right angle. Like all these little things take a long time, and then obviously the editing takes hours to do, even just for like a 15-minute video. So it just got me thinking, I'm not going to stop doing my podcast because I know how much value it gives people and I enjoy doing it. But I am going to cut down on the episodes slightly. So instead of doing one brand new episode a week, I might do one every 2 weeks or every couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 a month. I feel like that's more sustainable for me and I feel like I can give you more value in each episode. I'm not feeling like, oh, Wednesday's coming around, I've got to think of something to talk about for this Wednesday, or quickly schedule in a conversation with another artist. I feel like it's going to give me a bit more time to plan, make the episodes more worthwhile. But yeah, I've been kind of thinking about everything really, just reflecting on things and just realizing that it is okay to kind of not necessarily drop something completely, but reduce part of what you're doing to make room for other things and other opportunities that you might not know are around the corner, or just, have more time to spend on other aspects of your business that you want to grow. I feel like with everything that I'm doing at the minute and the lack of time I have, I feel like definitely something needs to change slightly. So I feel like the less episodes per month is definitely going to help with that. But like I say, I'm not stopping this podcast completely. I enjoy it way too much and I know that you enjoy it as well. There's just going to be less episodes. I feel like when you've got lots of spinning plates and you feel like you're juggling a lot, you can't do that forever. It's not sustainable and you're not going to grow your creative business in the way that you want to. So yeah, that's why I've been reflecting a bit recently and just thinking about what I want to prioritise. So one reason for this, I'm not going to get into it too much in today's episode, but in a few weeks I'm going to be starting a brand new chapter. I'm travelling to somewhere that I've never been before, but I've always wanted to go. I'm still going to be working as usual. I'm still going to have a base where I can do commissions, filming, live workshops, all of that I usually do. But I obviously want to factor in the time that I'll be spending kind of exploring new places, having all these different experiences, and I definitely want to make the most of the time that I have whilst I'm there. So I will be cutting down on the podcast episodes, but in other news, hopefully I'll be bringing you some more regular vlogs on my YouTube channel and just leveling up the content entirely. I literally have so many ideas and I feel like living in a new place is like a brand new start. You're in a completely new environment surrounded by, different animals, different people, different way of living. And I feel like I'm just going to be inspired. And honestly, I can't wait because I feel like I'm just going to be surrounded by inspiration and bring you the best content, hopefully, that I've ever done. And again, on reflection, sometimes you have to think like, what am I actually working so hard for? What's the point in having a creative business if you're going to be working like 24 hours a day till burnout, stressed all the time? Like, what's the point of that? It's not very enjoyable when you're kind of working in that way. And of course, having a business is hard work, especially a creative business. You do have to be inspired. You do have to have new ideas. You do have to be so self-disciplined to get work done. And it is hard. And I didn't come into this expecting it to be easy at all. But I think I was a bit shocked with how hard it has been over the past few years, and like how hard you actually have to work to get the ball rolling with things. But yeah, there comes a point where you have to, instead of working 100 miles an hour flat out all the time, you actually have to think, let's just have a minute and reflect and actually live life and do what you want to do as well at the same time. So that's what I'm going to do. I've always wanted to travel, and I have been on holidays and stuff, but I feel like traveling and actually living in a completely different place that you've not been to before is obviously a massively different experience. And yeah, I'm just excited for it. So if you have any ideas about where I might be travelling to, I know some of you probably already know. It'd be interesting to know where you think I'm going, so comment below. I'll give you a clue. It's nowhere near where I am now. I've got a few artist friends out there as well too, which will be nice to like finally meet up with them, and they can show me around a little bit maybe. Obviously it's that big, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, it's all very exciting stuff. So my last announcement, if you will, is how I've been building something out for the past year, and I'm now in the final stages of it, and it's kind of a lead on from my podcast Life of an Artrepreneur. I've finished the foundations of it and it's really coming together, so I feel like now is a good time to mention it. So I've been building a course out called Becoming an Artrepreneur, which is packed full of videos, tutorials, interactive things to do, time drawing challenges, one-to-ones. I'm going to do live videos, like live workshops on there as well. And the videos I've put on there already are kind of like the foundations of the course. One of the first videos I've put on there actually is all about reflection. And I ask you sort of like, what is your why? Like, why do you want to be a full-time artist? Like, why are you doing what you want to do? I talk a lot about my why, like why I do this. I talk about my backstory, my future goals, and how I'm going to get there. I even share like a structured 90-day plan that you can fill out yourself. And like I said, there's tutorials on there, like focus tutorials, time drawing challenges that aren't anywhere else. So yeah, that's been taking up a lot of my time as well. And it's really what I've been focusing a lot of my attention on this past year. I know a lot of you listen to these episodes every week, and the messages I've received, you know, saying like how much value you feel like you're getting just makes me want to push this further and give you something more. So that's exactly what I've tried to do with this course, Becoming an Artrepreneur. I was very happy with the name, can I just say? I was like, what should I call it? And then I thought, Becoming an Artrepreneur kind of makes sense because it leads on from the podcast. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the name of it. I just feel like I've talked about so many different topics in my podcast, and now kind of through this course we're taking all of that like knowledge and research and opinions and stories and whatnot, conversations with other artists, and helping you become an entrepreneur, where I can hopefully help you turn your creative hobby into a full-time career. The number one message that I always get is, are you a full-time artist? How have you become full-time? Like, what did you do when you were in my position? Basically from beginner artists who, you know, have this massive dream but don't know how to make it full time, or from artists who already have a creative business but they're just a little bit stuck with how to take it to the next level. And obviously I've not been there and done everything. Like, I'm still very much on my own journey, but I feel like you get so much value from sort of following along someone else's journey and listening to their experiences. And I feel like I've shared so much on my podcast that it feels only right now to kind of take that a step further and kind of include all of that through a course that you can kind of watch videos and work through, that's interactive, where you can take things from that, apply it to your own business and your own life, and hopefully get to that next step. Because I feel like I very much relate to people who do ask me like, how did you become full-time, and just feeling a little bit lost, because I definitely felt like that. Like, going into this, it was, I've talked about this story so many times, but it was in the lockdown, however many years ago that was now. But I was kind of lucky with how that came around, because I had no other choice but to kind of go for it full time. But still, I was going into it blind. I had no idea about the potential of what I could achieve, the opportunities, who I'd meet. Like, I honestly didn't have a clue. I thought I would just be doing pet portraits all day, every day. And although I still do commissions because I enjoy them, my day-to-day work life as a full-time artist looks very, very different to what it did back then. I feel like probably one of the main reasons why artists kind of going into this career feel very lost and like, is it actually sustainable and is it actually realistic to be like a full-time artist? And I feel like one of the main reasons why there's so much sort of doubt and not much confidence kind of going into becoming a full-time artist and realising it is a route that you can actually go down is because how growing up you're continuously told that art isn't a serious career, it's just a hobby. From teachers at school, parents, friends' parents, and they're like, oh, you're really talented, this is a great little hobby, but what are you actually going to do as a full-time job? And I feel like for anyone, repeatedly hearing that growing up limits your mindset so much. And I feel like parents and teachers aren't doing it in a bad way. They're just doing it out of wanting you to have that secure job, because also they don't know any different either. They don't know the potential of becoming a full-time artist. So I feel like one reason why I wanted to push my podcast further and make this course is to show you, what's actually possible and what I've learned over the years in terms of the potential and all these different avenues you can go down, and what I've learned from conversations with other artists and artists that I've met up with. Like, I think growing up, you're just not encouraged enough to be open and go for your unrealistic goal, unless it's seen as like a typical, secure, well-paid job by society. So one of my main things really with creating a series of videos in the course was to help kind of push you out of that mold, go against those limiting beliefs, and give you the encouragement and confidence to just go for the life and the career that you want. Being an artist is a totally achievable goal. It's exciting, every day is different, you don't know what opportunities are around the corner or who you're going to meet along the way. And there's so many different ways you can monetize what you're doing. So as I said, I've built out the foundations of the course. I want it to be a kind of thing that I can keep adding to as and when, that I can build out over time and cater the content specifically for you and what you want to like learn or hear or get my opinion on. So do let me know if there's anything specifically that you'd like me to create for this course, whether that's a specific tutorial or maybe a topic that I've sort of touched on in my podcast that you want me to dive a lot deeper into. This will help me massively to cater the content to you so I can help as much of you as possible. I've left a link in the video description below where you can subscribe to be the first to be notified when the course goes live, if that is something that you're interested in. Like I said, it is kind of a step beyond this podcast, so I'm very excited about it, and yeah, it's something that I've worked so hard on over this past year that I can't wait to kind of share it with you and hopefully get a good response. So a bit of a shorter episode from me today, but I thought I'd just hit you with all these exciting updates. Comment below if you have an idea of where I might be going to travel and work at the same time. And yeah, my next episode might actually be when I'm there, because as you can imagine, I've got a lot to plan and prep and so much work to do before then that I feel like I need at least 2 weeks off the podcast just to get everything in order so I can bring you the best content and yeah, focus a little bit more on this course before it goes live. So thank you so much for listening as always. Make sure you've subscribed to my YouTube channel for all the exciting vlogs that are to come, and I will see you very soon.